Thousands of Afghan refugees breathing a sigh of relief tonight. That's because the administration's plans to terminate their temporary protected status were put on hold by the courts just hours before they were set to expire. So how do we even get here? Well, remember, the U.S. granted temporary protected status for Afghans following the U.S. military withdrawal from Afghanistan and takeover by the Taliban in 2021. Then in May, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem announced that she would not be renewing protections, saying Afghanistan has had an improved security situation and its stabilizing economy no longer prevent them from returning to their home country. Now, it's important to note that many of these Afghan refugees risked their lives alongside American forces. Joining me now is Sean Van Diver. He is the founder of AfghanEvac, a coalition working to evacuate and resettle Afghan allies right here in the United States. Sean, the court delayed proceedings for just 1 week. Does that help refugees in this situation? How do they prepare for what happens next?
Sure. Look, Laura, thank you so much for having me on today. It, in fact, does help, right? People get 1 week of relief. Folks are not able, as soon as they lose TPS protection, if that's all they have, they lose their ability to work. People were really living in fear of ICE raiding their workplaces, their places of worship, other places like that. And this gives a little bit of breathing room for arguments to be heard. Hopefully it will become permanent, but it's at least 7 days to breathe easy.
Is there any expectation that it could be permanent? What would have to happen?
Well, look, the lawyers on both sides are going to argue their cases. I think that, anyone with eyes and a brain can look at what's happening in Afghanistan with people trying to hunt down our wartime allies, anyone who stood with the United States, and see that it is not safe to go back. They can look at the plight of women and girls. Women and girls can't be seen, can't be heard. They can't even be seen through the windows in their own homes. I don't know why they are rescinding this, but hopefully the court will have some critical thinking skills.
I mean, Sean, there are more than 180,000 Afghan refugees here in this country. About 12,000 are here under TPS. What are they telling you about how they are feeling?
Oh my goodness, people are terrified. They're anguished because they're trying to get reunited with their families, and the Trump administration keeps putting roadblock after roadblock after roadblock in their way. Some of them have family trapped in a U.S. government-run facility in Doha, Qatar. And right now, the team at the State Department is making the case to send them all back to Afghanistan. So people feel really let down. They feel betrayed, and they feel like it's really hard to trust the word of the United States. And veterans are furious because it was us that made the promises down there. It was us that said, if you stand with us, we'll stand with you.
On the point that you've raised earlier, too, just thinking about the conditions that are presently in Afghanistan. I mean, the Secretary of DHS, Kristi Noem, she says the situation has improved, but Afghan refugees have said that they are still, as you have said as well, in fear for their safety. What's happening on the ground? Are the conditions, knowing that people might have to go back, is there a particular fear for those who have helped the United States?
There's an extraordinary fear for those who have helped the United States, and the implicit protection of the United States resettling folks that were trying to come here is gone now. They've implemented visa ban. They've stopped enduring welcome, the safest, most secure legal immigration pathway we've ever had in our country's history. And now, if they get sent back, the Taliban is still going around looking for these folks. When they get them in their hands, the worst is going to happen. And women, there are women who are translators for special forces that are on that base in Qatar, and they're terrified they're going to be sent back. If they get sent back, they're going to jail. Awful things are going to have to happen to them, and they're likely going to be killed. And folks can follow along on our social media and get all the latest updates. We're at AfghanEvac.org as well.
Sean, finally, I mean, the last time we spoke, one of your clients, who was an Afghan Army veteran, or sorry, Army interpreter, had been detained by ICE. Do you know what's happened with his case?
Yeah, actually, we have great news. Great news relative. It sounds like he passed his credible fear interview, so now he'll go right back to the beginning of the line for asylum. But it means that he's not going to be deported. So it's a big win for Syed. It shouldn't have been this hard. We're really happy, and that's because so many veterans stood up and stood with our wartime allies. They joined a program called Battle Buddies, which we started because of Syed's case. Folks can go to AfghanEvac.org/battlebuddies to learn more. It's an incredible program. 6 veterans across all 50 states have already signed it.
Sean Van Diver, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you again, Laura. It's always a pleasure to see you.
For me too. Thank you.